What's up everybody, welcome back to a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. Today we're taking a look at some of the newest datamine files from the recent update. Let's get on to it. So first of all, we have this UR, that's a spell card called the Big Cattle Drive. If you control a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast type monster, draw one card for each of those monster types you control. You cannot activate other spell and trap cards or effects that turn during the turn you activate this card. So this card's a pretty interesting UR. So this card right here has the potential to be a +1 or a +2 because you draw cards after activating this card. It's kind of specific, and if I'm reading this right, I think you need to have all three different types to draw. To draw three, potentially. Draw one card for each of those monster types you control. I think you only can have the potential to draw 3 cards, which is kind of the downside, but this is a nice card to just draw a card from, just to get a card out of your deck. Use this card, play it, you get a draw card, that's a +0. If you're potentially running multiple Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monsters, you have a potential to make this a +1. Use this card, draw 2 cards, that's a +1. Or potentially a +2. If you have all 3 types of these monsters on the field, you use this card, draw 3, that's a +2 because you use 1 card and you got 3 for it. So that's really nice right there. The huge downside though to this card is definitely the fact that you cannot activate any other spell and trap cards or effects during the turn you activate this card, but at the same time, it's not the biggest deal in the world. If I'm going to be honest, it's just, you're most likely going to activate all your other cards before you play this. So yeah, it's a pretty decent UR, really good for draw power. Let's get going on the next card. So next card we have is Gemini Trap Hole. This card looks awesome. I love Gemini support, so I'm excited about this card. This is a UR trap card called Gemini Trap Hole. Activate only when a Gemini monster that's treated as an effect monster is destroyed by battle. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. This card is really good right here. So, Gemini monsters, when they have their effects out, they're already really OP as it is. Comboing it with this card is going to help it out a lot. So one deck you guys could play to combo with this Gemini Trap Hole is playing Fusion Geminis. Geminis in the game right now have Super Alloy, which is a dragon that, when it's on the field, all Geminis on the field gain their effects. You can easily play this card because every Gemini you have on the field is going to gain their effects, which is super nice about Gemini Trap Hole. The other deck you can play with it is just basic Geminis with no fusion. You can play the equip card Supervise, which makes your Gemini monsters an effect monster. If that monster gets destroyed, you can combo with Gemini Trap Hole, destroy your opponent's monsters, and then combo with Supervises one of its effects to where if it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Gemini monster from your grave. I think you're able to do that. I'm not too sure how the chain's going to work, but I would assume that you're able to chain Supervise and Gemini Trap Hole at the same time, basically, because both of the effects will pop off. So I think you'll activate Supervise, and then you should be able to chain Gemini Trap Hole. I'm not too sure about that, but I think that's how it should work. Other than that, though, this is a super good support for Geminis, because this is literally a field wipe on your opponent's side of the field, which is just crazy. And Geminis are able to bounce back, because you can easily suicide with a weak Gemini and with Supervise equipped, and then just pop it back on the field and just destroy your opponent with it. This card's going to probably see some potential combos. Next up, we have a card that doesn't have any, like, pictures, but it has its effect, and it's, like, in the game's code right now. It's Fire King Avatar Arfata. I think that's how this is pronounced. So anyways, on my laptop, I can read you guys the effect right here, because this card is actually pretty good. So Fire King Avatar Arfata is a 4-star Fire Beast Warrior with the effect: when a monster effect is activated while this monster is on the field, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy one other fire monster in your hand or field. If this card's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target one Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster in your graveyard, except Fire King Avatar Arfata, special summon it, but have its effects negated. Also, it is destroyed during the end phase. You can only use each effect of Fire King Avatar Arfata once per turn. This card is really good in my opinion. So, its first beginning effect, when a monster effect is activated while this card's on the field, you can negate the activation if you do destroy another fire monster in your hand or field. This card is super good right here because, one, Fire Kings and Sacred Phoenix love to get destroyed from the hand or field because you can usually special summon them back or use them to search for different cards. So be able to negate a monster's effect is really good. I think this card has the potential to definitely hurt Dakini and Cyber Angels pretty hard if you play this. Really cool card right there. And when you do destroy a fire monster, so this card is going to help out Sacred Phoenix a lot, because when Sacred Phoenix sent to the graveyard during your next standby phase, you can special summon it back, and there you go. That's a really nice effect right here. Also, its second effect, if this card is destroyed and sent in a graveyard, you can target one Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster in your graveyard. Except Fire King Avatar Rata, special summon it, but have its effects negated. That effect is pretty decent. Sadly, it's only available in the graveyard, which is kind of the downside to it, but it's still, you can probably just bring back monsters temporarily to save yourself for a little bit with Fire King Avatar's effect. So if this guy's destroyed somehow, you can just, like from your opponent, you can just special summon one of the monsters you used. So the combos is that when you play Fire King's first effect, you send one of your monsters to the graveyard. And then the second effect, when Fire King gets destroyed, you can activate its second effect to special summon one of the monsters that you just sent to the graveyard to protect you for another turn. Hopefully you're catching my drift, but this is a really clean card right here. Definitely can see this helping out Sacred Phoenix coming back to the meta possibly, like top tier maybe? I don't know, but I just think this card's pretty good in my opinion. But let's go on to the next thing. So next thing we have right here is a card that I technically already talked about in my 6 Samurai League video. But this card's art and all that good stuff is in the game files right now. So I'll just read it out for you guys real quick. This is Black Bronchos. It's a 4-star Earth monster, Dinosaur with the effect. This card's normal summon. You can target one monster on the field. Change the target to face-up defense position. Not too bad. You get to force to flip effect monsters, or you get to just know what your opponent has face down. Kind of decent right there. It'll be a 2100 attacking monster with Jurassic World on the field, which is really nice. So overall, pretty decent card. Next up, we got Gemini Summoner, and this card has a lot of text on it, so I have it pulled up on my computer. Gemini Summoner is a 4-star water with the effect, or a spellcaster with the effect. Once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can pay 500 life points, normal summon / set one Gemini monster from your hand, or normal summon one face of Gemini monster you control. The first time this card would be destroyed by battle each turn, it's not destroyed. This card's pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a pretty decent card. Now, when I first heard about this card being into Duel Links or whatever, when I heard the normal summon / set one Gemini monster from your hand by paying 500 life points, I thought you could just normal summon a Darkstorm Dragon without paying any tribute cost, or Phoenix Gearfried if you wanted to, but that's not the case because it says normal summon / set. So sadly, if you want to pull out the Darkstorm Dragon or Phoenix Gearfried pretty quickly, you're still going to have to sacrifice 2 monsters, which is kind of a downside to that. But during the end phase, you can pay the 500 life points and just bring out another level 4 or lower Gemini monster, which is pretty decent right there. Or you can just normal summon one of your Gemini monsters that is already on the field, which is not too terrible. And then its second effect's pretty decent too, just because of the fact that you're able to, this card doesn't die the first time it gets attacked. That's pretty nice right there. This actually could potentially help with stall decks. Honestly, just the fact that it can kind of stall. Because I can't remember if there's another card that has this effect where each time this card would be destroyed by battle, each turn it's not destroyed the first time. So this card could actually be teched in some pretty tilt decks, honestly, if I think about it. Overall, pretty good card right here. I don't know if Geminis are going to really need this card too much, but you could probably tech it in pretty easily and save yourself for a couple turns or whatever with this card, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we have One Shot Wand. This is an equipped spell for spellcasters. Equipped only to a spellcaster type monster. It gains 800 attack. If the equipped monster attacks or is attacked after damage collision, you can destroy this card, and if you do, draw 1 card. Pretty decent card right there. You get a +1 after this card dies, all after using it with whatever spellcaster you do, and the spellcaster gains 800 attack, which is not too bad. Pretty decent card right here. Next up, we have the skills. So these skills that got data mined are going to be skills used during the Battle City or Duelist Chronicles Battle City event. If you guys remember the last Duelist Chronicles event, that was set Sailor of the Kingdom, and when he battled against the NPCs, they actually had specific skills that were only for that event and you can't use for your character specifically. So these effects are just here for certain characters. And this first effect right here, Shotgun Shuffle. Begin the duel with 3 Jinzo level 7s on your side of the field. That card's pretty alright. I'm going to assume that this skill is going to be for Esperopa when you're battling him during the Battle City event. And this will probably be the level 20 skill, because if I take a look at Jinzo level 7, this is just a 2-star machine with the effect this monster can attack your opponent's life points directly. Nothing too crazy right there. You get 3 of them and it has the attack of 500, so you can get over it pretty easily. So this will probably be the level 20 Esperopa when you battle him. Next skill right here, Trap Search. Begin the duel with Jinzo on your side of the field. This skill will most likely be for level 40 Esperopa. And we already know Jinzo, he was just in the game recently, but just in case if you didn't know, he can just basically stop you from activating any traps. You just can't activate them. Pretty decent right here. Next skill we have right here is Vengeful Passion. Add sparks to your hand at the start of each of your turns. This is kind of crazy. So if I'm reading this right, I'm going to assume that you get sparks in your hand and you can still draw one card from your deck. So you're basically getting 2 cards at the beginning of each of your duels. Well, not for you, but for the NPC you're going against. I think this card will probably be for Odeon, because I think Odeon was introduced to the show during the Battle City arc. So I'm thinking this is Odeon because some of his traps that he plays triggers when you deal battle damage to your opponent. So this will probably be level 20 Odeon's effect, I'm going to assume. And this next one right here, Hitotama, I think I mispronounced that completely. But yeah, same effect as this one. Ancient Revenge is the exact same as Vengeful Passion, except that Hitotama is added to your hand instead of sparks, and Hitotama does like 500 light points instead of 300 compared to sparks, which only does 300. So yeah, this will probably be level 40 Odeon, which would be pretty annoying to go against. And the last skill that we have to talk about, the big skill that's really cool, is Incarnation of the Winged Dragon of Ra. Begin the duel with the Winged Dragon of Ra Spear Mode on your side of the field. Let me go take a little read at your boy, the Winged Dragon of Ra Spear Mode for you guys. This is a Divine Beast, 10-star Divine Beast with the effect cannot be special summoned. It requires 3 tributes from either side of the field to normal summon to that side of the field. Cannot be normal set. Then shift the control to this card's owner during the end phase of the next turn. That first effect right there, not going to be a big deal because this skill just makes it to where it's automatically summoned on the field. So you don't have to worry about that first effect right there. Also, this thing cannot attack. Here's its second effect. Your opponent cannot target this card for attacks or by card effects. So that means if you're going first, you can't do anything to it. Because since he begins the duel, since Merrick is going to start the duel with this card on his field, you can't do anything to it, even if you just start first, which is pretty lame. But here's the rest of the text. You contribute this card, special summon 1 Winged Dragon of Ra from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, and if you do, the attack and defense become 4,000. That second effect is going to help out Ra by a lot, especially in Duel Links, because the Winged Dragon of Ra, when you want to summon it, first of all, by itself, if you want to summon a Ra, you need to attribute 3 monsters. That's pretty obnoxious in Duel Links, honestly. Spear Mode helps out with that. You just need to send Spear Mode to the graveyard. Actually, do you? Yeah, you have to tribute it to send it to the grave and special summon Ra. Ra is one of Ra's first effects is that you're able to pay all your life points until you hit 100 life points left. Ra gains attack and defense equal to that amount of life points you spent. While Duel Links by default has 4,000 life points at the start of the duel. So that means that the Winged Dragon of Ra, he's not gonna, this is second effect where Spear says that it gains 4,000 attack and defense. It's a lot better. And that allows Merrick, when you're going against them, to play Ra's second effect where you can pay 1,000 life points to destroy one of your opponent's monsters. Wild. This fight is going to be a lot of fun when the event comes out. So I'm actually really excited for the Battle City event because, one, I really love the Duels Chronicles Set Sail to the Kingdom event. I really like that one a lot. So super excited for the Battle City version of it. And I'm excited to go against the Winged Dragon of Ra. That's going to be a lot of fun to check out. But if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel for more leaked videos and other types of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links content. Hope you guys are ready for this Battle City event and some potential UR cards that will be coming in the game, hopefully soon. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.